Hi everyone. I'm out in the woods today and it's early spring and I want to talk about grass. So when we look at exhibits and we look at the accuracy of how people recreate the forest floor with grass coming up, especially in spring when you have this new green grass coming, as you could see behind me and all around me, there's a few little details that people often miss. So let's take a little closer look. When I look at exhibits that are built with grass, especially bright green spring grass, new growing grass, one of the things that really stands out to me is you often see people plug in these artificial pieces of grass that look very plain. They look very clean. They really don't represent what's happening very well. If you look at the grass around me here, look at the way the grass is structured. So you have this very beautiful, bright green new growth coming up. But what is often overlooked is last year's growth, the dead grass that's left behind. You don't see grass usually coming up out of pristine dirt with just new growth. There's usually, in a well-established habitat, this old growth left underneath. So take a look. Here's this year's grass coming up. See the new shoots coming up? Here is last year's grass. It's kind of dead, gets matted down, depending on where the grass is. This is kind of on a little sloping embankment here, but look at all of the dead debris underneath this. And then you have some leaves mixed in here. You have some other plants trying to pop up through here. So there's a lot going on at the base of this cluster of grass. These are little things that we're going to push your exhibit work over from mediocre to exceptional. We talked about grass in the woods and what that looks like and some of the details that you should look for. But what about in the field? What are we looking at here? So let's take a closer look. When we're talking about grass in fields and reproducing something like a field, it's very different. And what we often see is exhibit builders or artists lay down their substrate, which may be foam or plaster, then lay down some soil, and then quickly start plugging plants in to this that look very sterile. They almost resemble a manicured garden bed. And as you can see, nature just doesn't look like this. If you look at the area around me here in this field, you have multiple species of plants coming up here. You have the new growth of grass. But what's critical is the old dead material that's underneath. That's what's building this structure that we see. If you look closely, you're not seeing any soil. You don't see any soil in these fields, in a well-established field. You just see your plant material and this old grass. And if you even part this and go down a little deeper, you even see smaller plants, different colonies, some mosses. And if we really part the way, you still don't see soil. So you really have to pay attention to nature, and when you're trying to recreate a scene in the field, and honestly, these are very difficult because there's a lot going on here. These are time consuming, and you really need to pay attention to your subject matter.